Hi, Judy.
Hello.
Nice to
Daisy.
see you again.
Oh, I'm glad you could come out. And
Thanks for
talk
meeting with me today. So, I just wanted to let you know that this isn't going to take any longer than 15 minutes.
Okay.
I know you're busy with your Etsy. And speaking of Etsy, I'm just wondering, how's it going?
Yeah, my Etsy has been very busy. I've been on Etsy for about 5 years.
Okay.
Kind of focusing on these little pilot caps.
Okay, I've seen them.
Yeah, they're just really nice little tight-fitting hats for babies with hearing aids. They can hold them in. Just fun fall hats or winter hats or spring hats for others. However, I enjoy to sew clothing as well.
Okay.
And I do offer some rompers and stuff, but now I'm bringing in a new line, a linen line.
Okay.
So I've been trying to figure out, you know, is this Etsy site that I have with me, it's a good place for my linen?
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure. And is that one of your pieces?
Yeah,
then?
and this is the bonnets. I'm making, you know, clothing as well.
Okay.
So really
those
fun.
look very, very fun, very nice. Okay.
Mhm.
So why don't you just tell me a little bit more about the needs of your customers?
Well, first of all, customers I've come in contact with, I know are looking for unique items.
Okay.
Etsy is kind of all about that.
Yeah.
They want something quality made, handmade, of course, and with reasonable prices.
Yeah.
I kind of try to target in that with all those in mind.
Yeah, and I feel like right now, especially millennials, you know, people around my age, they're really flocking to support small business and, you know, purchase unique items. You know, you can't find that at the big, you know, chain stores because they make so many of one item, you know. So I know we've a little bit been communicating over email about the opportunity to sell at Gill's Loft. So Gill's Loft is an occasional store, and what that means is we're open one weekend a month, and actually not even all the months of the year, but as you can see here, we are planning for 9 sales in the next year.
Okay.
And what I do is I have been looking for vendors, and I looked at your Etsy shop and was really impressed by your Etsy shop. And you know, we previously had the business relationship with the photography. So with my vendors, what we do is all of your sales, Gill's Loft will take a 20% commission, meaning that you keep the 80%. There's no rent charge. There's no other costs. You're not required to work or do setup. You just need to bring your items to Gill's. And so I would like you to think about committing to the next 9 sales, but I realize that that's kind of, you know, a big step. So I'm thinking maybe a trial period is also something that maybe we could try. But before, you know, you obviously commit to it, I want to hear about what your objections are about the partnership.
Yeah, first of all, it's kind of a risk, you know, stepping out there with a new business. So I'm a little curious if I'm willing to take that step.
Right. So, you know, obviously you've been on Etsy. It's worked really well with you. And I do realize that signing on with a new venture is pretty risky. But like I said, we can do the trial period, you know, and see how that goes. And I think that by you advertising online that your linen line is sold exclusively at Gill's, your loyal customers, you know, will be drawn to the store because they can only, you know, purchase it at Gill's.
And another thing, I guess, big is your location. You know, will it draw enough customers for my product there?
Right. So we are actually located right on US Highway 212. It's a really busy highway, and actually an average of 6,000 cars go by in an 8-hour period. Yeah. So I think that with the traffic and then the online advertising and word of mouth, I think we can really draw a crowd for your line.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And as far as my brand, you know, how does it fit in that store? Will it flow with the other stuff that's being offered there?
Right. So Gill's Loft is, our mission is about finding brands and individuals who create unique and one-of-a-kind items. We really want to promote, you know, the individual artisan and, you know, their products. So we take into careful consideration before we reach out to possible vendors. because we really want to ensure that not only are you promoting Gil's Loft brand, but also we want to make sure that our location and our brands fit with yours as well.
And, my online's busy, kind of keeps me almost full time. Will I have enough time to get enough stuff ready for
Yeah,
you?
so I know that you're really busy online. However, I'm not going to set a quota for the amount of items, so it would kind of just be what you're able to get done, in your free time that you could send.
And the 20% commission, how does that balance out,
Right, so I think you would need to look at your forecasted sales, of course, calculate your costs, but I think you should just keep in mind that you should look at your opportunity cost as well. So, if you were to sell the new linen line on Etsy, you have to take in consideration the time to list the item, the time to package it, the time to ship it, as well as to, individually advertise that item, and you will pay the commission to Etsy. So if you're, selling at Gil's, you will not have, the listing, the packaging, the shipping. You would just, have the 20% commission.
Yeah. Okay. And I don't know if I can commit right now to 9 sales a year.
Right. So, a year is a long time, and of course, you don't know how much more busy, your Etsy site is going to get in that time. So I think, you could just try out the November and December sales, and then we can meet again and discuss how that's going. And yeah, I would want you to try it out before you make a bigger commitment.
Okay. Also, I was curious about the setup. Do I bring my stuff there and set it up, or is that, am I required to set up or work these sales, or?
Yeah, so you are not required to set up or work the store. Both of these items, it's done on a volunteer basis. So, if that's something you're interested in, that's definitely something you can do. The only requirement that we have is that all your items are at Gil's Loft 3 days before the sale.
And price, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And so each sale, if I had a busy month with Etsy and I couldn't make a lot of stuff for a new sale, what would we do there?
So, we could obviously take leftover from the month before if you don't sell all your items. And, we'll just have to fill in, with other vendors, not other clothing vendors, but just other vendors.
Kind of add into the clothing section.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
And, still part of me wonders, is my linen line be better in a store where people can see it, or, online with these pictures, I still think that hands-on is just one of the better ways.
Yep. And that's the thing is, I've looked at your Etsy site and you have phenomenal reviews. You have all 5-star reviews, and now in the internet age, a consumer will get online and they're going to read reviews before they purchase a product. That's what just about everyone does. So to be able to build the following that you have is pretty incredible. It speaks volumes about your product and, your commitment to customer service. So that's the thing is you're really established already on Etsy. You have a loyal customer base. You have people that always buy from you, and then they'll tell their friends and they're going to tell their friends. The only thing that you would need to keep in mind is that, of course, like I said earlier, is the opportunity cost that, it may take more of your time to promote and run, and sell your linen line off of Etsy than it would off of Gil's.
And then the store,
right.
Is it visually appealing enough for the linen clothing?
Right. And, this is something you haven't had to run into, on Etsy because you just sell it off of the pictures that you have taken. But I think, it would be cool if you could come down and see the store, see the other vendors, and how it's set up. And, if a setup of your, items is something that you're interested in, I definitely, would encourage that you do that.
Yeah, so I'd like more information on this. It sounds really attractive and kind of something I would really be interested in.
Yeah, so I think, why don't we could set up, another meeting at the store, and then you can come see it. But Are you thinking that this is something that would work for you?
Yeah, I would be willing to try it out for a couple days. I mean, a couple sales,
Okay.
and go from there.
Okay, so I'll just explain to you. I'll just explain to you the contract to sell as a vendor. So this just states that it's between Gilsloft and MFA. And then it also just says here that Gilsloft will take 20% of each item sold. And then you'll receive your check either in mail or in person the week following the sale. And then this section here says if you want to terminate the relationship, a 2-month notice is required. But since we're going to just do this trial period, we're just going to meet after the trial period to see, what you're kind of thinking. So this section just says that you are committed to having your items there 3 days prior to the sale. And then, so here's your name and that you will be selling linen children's clothing if you just want to sign there. Okay, that looks really great. So I am really excited about this.
I'm very excited to come and see your store.
Yes, I think your brand will do very well there, and I know the customers will be really excited to have you. So we'll set up that meeting over email, and then if you have any questions or concerns, you can just send me an email.
Okay, well, thanks a lot.
Thank you
Lindsay.
so much for meeting with me.
Okay, you have a good
day.
Take care.